So welcome everyone, happy days are here again. We got an unusual review this time and it's for the Oclean X Pro toothbrush. So I know what you're thinking, how on earth have we got to this where you got to review a smart toothbrush on your channel? Well, let's face it, we've all got to brush our teeth. Whether we like it or not, we got to brush our teeth because our teeth are important for eating. So we got to do it twice a day. And you know what I think about smart tech. So I've gone out, I've researched, and I found what I think is possibly the smartest toothbrush in existence. Now, we've all seen those Oral-B toothbrushes for £299. They've got app support and things like that. So I've had one of those and I've used it. And yeah, it was pretty good, but it wasn't techy enough for me. Just changing the colour on the top of the toothbrush wasn't enough tech for me. So what instead we did is we found this Oclean X Pro toothbrush, and I read all the spec and I was excited. I thought it looked amazing. I saw a review on YouTube and I thought, you know, I'm gonna have to have it. This toothbrush started as an Indiegogo crowdfunding project, which from looking at the website had 8,000 backers and raised £386,000 in backing. That's a hell of a lot of backing. Now, there's loads of information on the Indiegogo website. Apparently, it's got 42,000 strokes per minute. What? That's absolutely insane. 4 brush modes, that's nothing different to the old Oral-B stuff. 20 programmable brushing settings, and obviously the timer settings built in. I mean, there's loads of extra smart stuff for this. For example, it's got inbuilt pressure support. Now, that's nothing different from an Oral-B toothbrush, but when you brush too hard with your Oral-B, it just flashes red in your face, and that's if you can see it. However, this apparently, if you brush in too hard on your teeth, what it does, it automatically adapts the brush strength. So, you know, if you're brushing too hard, it slows it down, so it's not going to just rip your teeth clean out your mouth. Now, there are lots of things that stood out for me, you know, and I'm looking at the Indiegogo website here, and it makes a lot of bold claims. 30-day battery life, nice. Rapid 2-hour charge time. Now, I don't know about you, you know, my Oral-B toothbrush will be charging all day, like 12 hours plus to get charged. Ain't nobody got time for that. So it's a 2-hour charge time, looks amazing. Now, the bit that really interests me in particular is the blind zone detection. Now, what that means is the handle has got a built-in gyroscope, which gives you a reminder if you're particularly missing an area of your mouth. So if we have a look again, so we can see the screen at the top, the red bit is an indication if you're missing brushing a particular part of your mouth. Now that sounds awesome to me. It's got a score, so it judges you on how good you are, and you know how we all like feedback and to be judged. You know, what has the world come to when a toothbrush is judging you? But nonetheless, it does sound absolutely amazing. The app, again, looked really interesting. I was just really excited. I just thought it's something different, so I thought I got to have it. And you know me well enough, if I've got to have it, what do? Our first thing I do, I'll go on Amazon and see what price it is, and I saw it was a cheeky $49.99, which I thought was awesome. What I also particularly liked about the seller I used is, bam, they gave you 2 free replacement heads for free. And I know what you're thinking about replacement heads, because it's a concern from anybody. So when you've got one of these unusual lesser known brand toothbrushes, you think, what's going to happen when the seller stops selling the replacement heads? Well, don't you worry your cotton socks. The Philips Sonicare heads for the Philips Sonicare toothbrushes will also fit on this one, apparently, but we can check that in the video and we'll find out for sure. One weird thing I did see is that the delivery, although it was Prime, was not next day. Now, that didn't bother me too much because there was another seller that was selling this and it was next day delivery. However, it didn't say specifically you got the free heads with it. In the picture, there were 2 replacement heads, but it didn't say it anywhere, and I'm not gambling when it comes to something like that. So the delivery time on this was about 5 days, and it all makes sense because when I checked the dispatch notice and I looked at the track the delivery, it was coming from an Italian Amazon warehouse. Now, I wasn't on the Italian Amazon, I was on the Great British Amazon store, so I'm surprised that they didn't have stock in the UK to send out quicker, but I ain't complaining. It came here, it's 5 days later, it's here. So, you know, let's stop all the talking, let's actually physically look at the product and let's review this bad boy. First things first, let's take a look at those replacement heads. So we got some cheap plastic coating around the outside. That really devalues the product in my opinion. We've got the Oclean logo on the front. In case you wondered how many replacement brush heads you've got 2 because it says it right there. Side of the box, you've got nothing. Other side of the box is totally blocked by Amazon's label. All different languages, made in China, Chinese on there. you know, doesn't bode well when it comes to quality when it ends up having all that stuck on it. We've got Chinese on the back, so I hope you can read that. Manufacturers there, the address in case you want to hunt them down because the quality is not what you expected. We've also got the contact details there. Other side, we've got nothing. Oclean logo on the bottom, and we've got the Oclean logo on the top. So that's the box for the replacement heads. Time to get inside the box and see what it's all about. Hopefully you can hear the ripping and the twisting as the plastic gets ripped off here. Like the Incredible Hulk and all that. So opening it up, open the end up here, and what do we have inside? Ooh, 2 replacement heads. Let's get them out. One's out, other one. Here we go. So, yeah, they look surprisingly like the Philips Sonic Air heads. So the replacement does sound, you know, like it's completely plausible that that's true. I like it's got the caps on the top of the toothbrush to stop any filth and grime going on there. I mean, if you want to look online and look at all the disgusting facts about toothbrushes being in bathrooms near toilets, feel free. But them caps, they're going to serve you well. 2, blue, matches the toothbrush handle. You can't go wrong with that, especially for free. So it's time for your main event. Let's check out the toothbrush box and handle itself. So first things first, just from picking it up, I can honestly say there is a massive stark difference between the quality of this box and this packaging and the one for the replacement toothbrush heads. This is cheap. Real cheap feeling. This feels very premium. It's got quite a bit of weight to it, and you know, feeling it, and I must say it's got a very Apple-esque feel to it. So, you know, first thing my partner did is when she saw it on the side, she picked it up and she says, "Is that an Apple product?" Well, you know, I'm not surprised. It feels exactly like it should be, the way it's packaged, and from there. So let's have a look at the front. So first thing we'll greet you with in the front is the Good Design Award 2019, which obviously is a seal of approval. Toothbrush handle there, you know, it's got the time, the date, it's got the morning smiling sunshine, which is exactly what you want first thing in the morning. What have we got on the end? Absolutely nothing. What have we got on the side? Absolutely nothing. And nothing on that end and nothing on that side. So they've seriously saved some money when it comes to printing. Having a closer look at the back, what have we got? We've got all the copyrights and stuff like this. IPX7, which means it's waterproof, which I think is, you know, vitally important for a toothbrush. It did cross my mind that if, you know, as a commonly accepted and understood brand, I wondered whether it would be sensitive to that. But no, it's claiming it's waterproof. App for Google Store, an app for the iOS Store, which is really, really important. Looking at all the details there. And what else we got? Sort of, well, yeah, it's a replica of what was on the Indiegogo webpage. So feels solid, very, very basic, bland box, but I think that gives it a slick premium feeling, to be honest. Boom, cheeky cut. So we fast forward in time here. I've unsheathed the box to make it a little bit easier to open and have a look at. So unlike an Apple product, the top doesn't slide off. It in fact opens up like this. Ooh, Oclean, go the extra smile. Very, very good. So little finger hole to open it up. Ooh, and here we are, greeted with the product itself. I can't resist it. I'm gonna have to go straight in. Let's have a look at the toothbrush. No messing about. So very, very, very smooth handle. I'm sure there's a joke there, but feels very premium. I like it a lot. At the bottom we've got the gold contactless sensor for the charging. That's really, really nice. And we've got the gold Oclean branding. Navy and gold, what a really nice combination. Next we've got the LED screen, swipe, of course, touch sensitive, start, tear, I guess that's to take the plastic off, and we've got ourselves our head there. Very, very, very nice. Now I'm a bit a bit particular about products. I don't like turning them on before they've been fully charged. You know, we all know it should be like that, but one of the biggest problems with electric toothbrushes, of course, is the battery going. So what I don't want to do is I don't want to interfere with that. So before we turn this bad boy on and see the screen, we're going to charge it fully. Time to look at the cables and see what on earth we've got. So let's get into this little bit here. Ooh. Oh, so it all comes off in one. How nice is that? So in here we've got ourselves a cable. Let's have a look what type of cable it is. It's in a little plastic bag. Out it comes. Hope for USB-C. Oh no, micro USB. Disappointing. very disappointing. But white, slick, very, very thin. Not the worst cable I've seen. Probably quite practical for what we need it for. Yeah, that's not too bad. Next thing what we've got is you've got the toothbrush charger and holder. So it looks a little bit like this. It's magnetic as well. So what we can do is we can stick that to somewhere. And then my understanding is, yeah, very, very nice. So that sticks somewhere. So you could have that on the side of your bedroom cabinet if you wanted. It looks a bit like that, yeah. And then when you want to charge it, you can pull it away from there. And then you're just left with the charging stand, which is there. Ooh, it's got a nice little seal at the back for added transport. Let's get that open, shall we? So yeah, plug in the micro USB there, USB to charge, and there we go. So the toothbrush should magnetically sit in there like that. Yeah, very, very nice. That's how it charges. And then if you've got this all plugged in and you've got it stuck against the wall, oh, does it clip in? That's a bit, maybe it's a one side. Yeah, of course it is. Clever, clever, clever. Fits in one particular way, so you can have it against there and magnetically holds it against the wall, so it can look real slick in your bathroom without taking up any of that very, very important space at the bottom of your cabinet. So, initial thoughts. Absolutely outrageous. I spoke too soon. Can't talk about those initial thoughts because what is this here? Of course, it's my favourite bit of any review, looking at all the information that comes with it. So let's have a look at the guide. Quick guide. Doesn't look very quick to me. So let's focus in. Brush head, touchscreen, on off, 2-in-1 hanging base, which is good. First time use, press the switch to turn it on. Brushing plan, charging. Real nice washing tips. Nice. Get the app, and then we've got obviously got the Chinese on the other side. Riveting stuff. Oh, good lord. Oh, look at all this. Now, that is absolutely insane amount of detail. Am I going to read it? Probably not. Nah, not going to read that. How much information do you need for a toothbrush, really? So what are my initial thoughts? You know, to be honest, it has a premium feel, premium box, so looking good so far, but like they always say, you can't judge a book by its cover, so we've actually got to physically use this. Now, I'm not like one of them normal reviewers that just turn off the camera and turn it back on a second later and pretend like they've used it for ages and go, yeah, it was great, buy it, no, nothing like that. I'm going to need to use this for a few days, play around with the app, because, you know, I want to be that honest reviewer who tells you exactly like it is. Is this worth your money? I'm going to need some time to try it, so I'm going to leave the video here for you guys. Boom, my follow-up will be instantaneous, but it's going to be a few days later from me because I want to be, you know, I want to give it a proper good use before giving you my honest opinions. So boom, cheeky edit, we're back in the game. So it's 4 days later. I've been using this toothbrush twice a day, as you'd expect, and I think I'm ready to give my review and my final thoughts on this bad boy. To start, I want to talk you through the setup process of the app. It's real straightforward. Download it from the iOS store, the Android store, then you register a profile with them. I turned off the sharing of information with them because I wasn't too comfortable with sharing it with a company that's outside the US or the UK. And then what you had to do is you had to answer a few simple questions. So the first thing you had to answer was, what is your tooth condition? So first thing we've got normal, smoker, braces, or oh my god. So normal was the closest to what mine looked like. You then asked any of your personal habits. Do you smoke, tea, wine, or coffee? I selected none. Not a big fan of any of those. And then you get to choose your tooth colour. So it's all, let's just say, personal opinion. So I was more towards the middle, of course. And then click complete. From there, what you had to do is you had to declare how old you were, male, female, and that sort of thing. And then what it did a personalised brushing program. So it recommended that I went for this one, which is a strong whitening, suitable for wine lovers, of course. I played around with the age. If I made myself slightly younger, it just went for the normal setting, but because of my age, it went for strong whitening. So then what you do is you connect the brush, real straightforward. You just turn it on and then set up the process. You got some settings and things like that, but what was interesting is the firmware update straight away. So immediately it asks for a firmware update. You click firmware update, transfers across, a percentage bar appears on here, but what also is really nice is a percentage update bar appeared on the toothbrush itself. Now, I was very surprised that the toothbrush already was charged straight out the box. I couldn't believe it. But, you know, with a 2-hour charge time, you know, you're not messing about with that sort of one. So, brush my teeth, and then what it does is it gives you a score and some information on the handle, which I'll show you in a little bit. But I'll show you the app and the information it transfers to the app when it synchronizes. So you're met with a dashboard that looks a little bit like this. Tells you the duration of your last brush. Your score out of 99 is the highest I managed to get. I don't know how to get 100, but 99 was pretty good. The effectiveness, the days of use in the report. So effectiveness looked a bit like this. So it tells you your current plan. Were you know, was the cleaning effective or not? Gives you a score. So duration, 2 minutes 30, mine was. Pressure here, you know, I was a little bit too rough with it, but what it does, it automatically downscales the viciousness of the brush if you press it too hard, which I think is pretty cool. And then the coverage, it gives you an overview of your coverage. Now, this is where I think one of the problems lie. Okay, now after brushing on the toothbrush, it said that I had complete coverage. There was no area that was unclean. However, with the app, for some reason, it suggests that I'm missing that same area again and again. Now, I thought maybe it's just once, but no, these are a few of my brushes, and it shows the same areas being missed again and again and again. And now for me, that suggests there's a problem with the firmware. It's a bit frustrating, but I'm confident that it'll be sorted with a firmware update. But you know, it takes away a little bit of the shine that the toothbrush isn't communicating with the app. Because when I finished my brush with this and the screen came up, let's turn that bad boy on. It came up on here. I'll show you a fake brush. So imagine you're brushing your teeth. You click it, and it goes, and then at the end it gives you a score, and then it gives you the teeth here. Now, if they're white, not red, it says you've hit all the parts. Now on this one I hit none of the parts because I didn't brush my teeth properly, but at the end of each brush it's been completely white, showing that I've hit absolutely every area. Bit weird how it doesn't show that in the app. You know, it's a bit of a negative, I have to admit. So let's check out the other sections of the app. So we've looked at the effect, the days of use, which is there. So it tells you the days, how long you've been doing it, the number of times, and then it tells you how often you should be replacing your brush head. You click reset, fresh start, you know, so that's pretty cool because it keeps an eye on how long you've been brushing and when you need to replace the heads. Now, the interesting thing with the heads here is it's all the same sort of colour. If you've ever used an Oral-B one, you know they're multiple colours, and generally when the colour fades, that's when they suggest you actually change the toothbrush head. So it's nice to see that it's actually keeping track in the app. Next, what we've got here is we've got the report. So we click on the report, and what it does, it shows you your brushing effectiveness over time. So daily report, so the 19th when I started using it, it's got it down here. The 2 different times I brush my teeth, obviously twice a day, and it gives you that information all the way along as you go through here, more than you can want. It's also got a monthly report if you're into that sort of thing. You know, I think it's really cool that it gives you an overview. It does give you the inspiration to continue, because if you forget to brush your teeth just once, it is going to show on the app and you will be on the naughty list, and Santa won't be coming this year. Last thing I want to show you about the app is my personal favourite part of this whole thing. It's plans. So if we go to the home screen, click plans, and what it does, it has predetermined and preset plans that you can choose. So obviously when you first set up your profile, it predetermines which one it recommends for you. For me, was strong whitening, but you've got lots of different ones you can choose from. So for example, standard clean, strong whitening, super whitening, here we go, all the way through. I think it's, you know, there's one for literally everybody. There's a bit for everybody. Now, what you can do is you can click try now, and what that does is it sends it through as your standard program for your toothbrush. But what I really like is the how to use. So click how to use, and what it does, it gives you that individual breakdown of each 30-second of the program. Now, it's not one of those cases where you just go crazy with the toothbrush and brush wherever you want. You need to choose, and you need to be very careful of what you actually do. Each 30 seconds has a slightly different intensity, as you can see from here, and it's telling you what you should be doing during that time. So whitening part, the cleaning part, the deep cleaning part. It's really clever. So when I initially used the toothbrush, I was just brushing everywhere, and then obviously I spotted this, watched it, and I do feel that I'm getting a better clean because I am following those instructions. What you can also do, if you aren't happy with the plan, you can click Smart Push, and what that does is ask you those questions again, and then it passes it through and chooses a setting for you again. And if you're a real nerd, what you can do is you can actually create your own step-by-step cleaning program. Now, that's way beyond my knowledge of toothbrushes and things like that, but you can do it if it's your sort of thing. Now let's talk a little bit more about the actual toothbrush itself. So the first thing I want to point out is I read online that apparently Philips Sonicare head brushes will fit on this. Now that's absolutely not true. It's absolutely false. Now I don't know if Philips do other toothbrush heads that aren't Sonicare. I only have a Sonicare because my partner's got a Philips Sonicare one, but it doesn't fit. Now, if you have a look at the bottom of the Oclean one, it looks a little bit like this. If you have a look at a bit of the Philips one, it looks a little bit like this. They are completely different. They don't fit. It's not going to fit on, no matter how much you poke it around and all that stuff, so that's not true. So at the moment, it looks like you're stuck with an Oclean toothbrush head if this is the direction you're going to go. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, from reading all the information online, I think they have very carefully designed the toothbrush head to be specific for this toothbrush. Obviously, it works with other Oclean stuff, but I do know that obviously there's some engineering gone into the shape of this, and the shape of this is different to obviously the Philips Sonicare one. So, you know, if you're going to buy the toothbrush, you better get the heads that fit with it. Now, as it stands at the moment, they are readily available on Amazon. $7.49, I think it is, or $7.99. I'll link it in the description. Prime delivery for 2 more heads. So I got 1 that came with a toothbrush, 2 that were free, and I've ordered another 2 which should last me for 12 months. So I've got my back covered with this. Now it's the moment you've all been waiting for. You want to see that little LED screen. So let's click it on. Boom, you're greeted with the time, the day, and a smiley little sun. And in the morning, there's a little blue sun, I think, or is it night time? It's something like that. It looks very cute nonetheless. Pretty cool to be able to see that. Now the touchscreen, it's not as responsive as you would expect. Now if you use an iPhone or a high quality phone, you're used to just being able just to touch the screen and it flick across. Now it does require a bit more pressure than you'd expect. Now sometimes it registers it if you do it gently like you would do on a normal phone. However, I recommend putting a bit more pressure on it to get the screen to actually physically flick across. Now scrolling down, changes the settings, across activates it, and then we've got ourselves the push button to save things and turn it on. Oop, there we go, got a bit of brush on the go. What's interesting here is there's a setting in the app that means it will automatically disregard any brushes, I think, that are under 15 seconds. So, you know, this will be counted as a inconclusive clean, I think they call it. But basically it means it won't be registered, so on those lovely little graphs it won't show up. Now, when I first saw this, I was absolutely buzzing about that touchscreen. I thought it looked proper slick and a nice little feature. However, after using it, I actually realised that it's kind of redundant. Yeah, it is a nice little gimmick that when you press it, you get to see this sort of information. But that's what it is, actually a gimmick. It is quite fiddly to change the settings on the touchscreen. You're way better off doing it in the app. Now, what was obvious after I started brushing my teeth, which didn't occur to me at the beginning, it's all well and good having the countdown timer on here, and you've got, you know, the pressure sensitive gauge and all that stuff on there whilst you're brushing your teeth, but you actually, when you're brushing your teeth, you can't actually see the screen. Now, I tried angling it in the mirror and stuff to see, and you can just about see it depending on the angle, but actually it's something that just didn't even occur to me. I feel stupid for not recognising it. You can't even see the screen when you're brushing your teeth. It's bizarre. Which is why the app, you know, is so important for this. So is the touchscreen necessary? No, not really, apart from seeing that beautiful sunshine every day. Because you just can't see it when you're using it. It's a bit fiddly to use, and you're much better off just using the app. Now here comes the main event, the big thing you've all been waiting for. Does it do a good job of cleaning? Now this is a completely subjective opinion and my personal opinion of the whole thing. You know, you might feel different to me, you know, a dentist might feel completely different to me, but for me, I actually genuinely feel like this does a better job of cleaning my teeth than the Oral-B one that I had previously. Now, do I have tangible evidence of this? Well, if I really thought about it carefully, I should have taken a picture of my teeth before and then shown you a picture of my teeth after, you know, and then shown you a progressive time lapse of it all. But let's face it, that's way too gross. You don't want to see my teeth. Not that my teeth are bad, I've got pretty good teeth to be honest, but yeah, nice. But nonetheless, you don't want to, you know, come onto YouTube to see people's teeth. But I do genuinely feel that it has done a good job of cleaning it. Running my tongue over my teeth, they feel smooth, it feels fresh. It just didn't have that feel when I had the Oral-B. Now, I know what you're thinking, it could be mind over matter, and that could be it. You know, it could be that I'm just thinking it's cleaner, you know, a placebo effect, so therefore it is cleaner, but I genuinely feel like it is. And ultimately, that's half the deal. You know, there's a lot of engineering, there's a lot of science that's gone into this toothbrush, and you can see all that information on Indiegogo. But for me, I think it makes a difference. Now, I saw another review online and someone showed the plaque that had been removed from their teeth by using this. You know, I don't suffer from plaque really at all. So, you know, I'm not going to see those sort of noticeable effects. But I personally feel like it's cleaner in my mouth. And, you know, whether it's subconscious or not, but looking in the mirror, I do feel they're a little bit whiter. You know, obviously time will tell. It's been such a short period of time that I've been using this to have any tangible evidence is a difficult one, but ultimately it's down to my personal opinion, and my personal opinion says that actually this does a great job at cleaning my teeth. Now I know what you're all thinking. You're thinking, what is the final rating? So on the rating scale of 2 thumbs up, we have ourselves a 1 thumbs up, 1 out of 2. So why is it only 1 out of 2? On one hand, I think it does a great job of cleaning. I think it's a real slick product. I think it looks and feels really, really nice. But there are some negatives that nag at me. What are those negatives to stop again the 2 thumbs up? Well, firstly, I'm a bit annoyed that that toothbrush head isn't compatible with any other brand. But I know what you're saying, well, Oral-B doesn't fit Philips and Philips doesn't fit Oral-B, but they're obviously massive brands. And I don't care what you say, Oclean isn't a massive brand, or it certainly isn't in the UK. So having that cross compatibility would have been good. But as I've said, we've seen the bottom of the toothbrush, so it's an idea to keep an eye out for this. And, you know, let me know in the comment section if you find any toothbrush heads that, you know, think would be compatible with this. The other negative, which is also kind of positive because I really do like the touchscreen, but it's completely pointless. There's no need to it at all. I found there's nothing that it does that the app doesn't do, you know, better, and it's just a bit of an inconvenience other than the motivational smiling sunshine when you turn it on. However, the biggest negative I can see personally for me is the gyroscope doesn't work properly. There's that area of my tooth that it constantly says in the app that I'm just not brushing, which is absolutely false. The handle knows that I'm doing it and it shows you at the end that it's been doing it. I know I've done it because I paid extra close attention to where I'm brushing. However, the app is saying I'm missing it. Now that's just not good enough. They need to do something about that. Now, reading about the firmware update, they're talking about they're constantly improving the gyroscope and things like that. So hopefully with more time, you know, more, you know, engineering, the firmware will be updated to solve that issue. I feel I need to balance the review up and say some of the nice things. I've already said the nice things about, you know, the premium feel to it and the, you know, the overall cleaning effect on the teeth I think is excellent. You know, I think the dock's really good. I like the magnetic base that sticks on the wall and then you pull this one off to charge it. It would be nice if it was USB-C and not micro USB, but the fact it charges in 2 hours is excellent. I guarantee you your electric toothbrush is not charged 100% in 2 hours. It's just not possible. And the fact it's USB means you can plug it in anyway instead of having to use a shaver socket, which, let's face it, is always an inconvenience because when you're going on holiday to bring your, you know, your charger for your toothbrush and looking for a shaver socket and all that, it's just a waste of space. Whereas a USB cable, we've all got a USB charger with us, so it works an absolute treat. Now, hopefully that's answered all your questions. You know, maybe I've missed some things. If you've got any questions, please pop them in the comment section below and I will reply to each and every comment and question. You know, I do pride myself in trying to be active in that regards. If you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, you can thumbs down it. But if you're going to thumbs down it and be an internet troll, at least say why you didn't like it. Stop being that faceless person behind the keyboard, negative, ruining the fun of people. You know, be positive about stuff. I'm new to this, you know, I'm not monetizing this. I'm just doing it for a bit of a fun, you know, for an entertainment, you know. So say something positive. I'd absolutely love you to press that subscribe button. The more subscribers I get, the better. I'm really thankful to everyone that's subscribed so far and enjoying my content. Hopefully, you know, I might diversify out and do a bit more tech stuff. But I've got an interesting review, returning to the roots of the Nintendo Switch coming up. Something to look forward to there. So with that in mind, it's time to draw this to an end. So take care of yourselves, look after the people around you, and most of all, stay out of trouble.